His Lordship has reached the venue, so I request everyone to once again make sure that your devices are on silent mode and maintain the decorum of the auditorium. Namaste and a very good evening to one and all present here. On behalf of the Faculty of Law, the Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda, I, Dr. Bhageshri Trivedi, extend a very warm welcome to the esteemed dignitaries on the dais, Honorable Mr. Justice Arvind Kumar, Judge, Supreme Court of India, Professor Dr. Dhanesh Patel, In charge Vice Chancellor, the Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda, Dr. K.M. Chudasama, Registrar, the Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda, Professor Dr. Archana Gadekar, In charge Dean, Faculty of Law, the Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda, as well as dignitaries of the dais, Principal District Judge Vadodara, esteemed members of the judiciary and the bar, invited guests, faculty members, students, members of the media, and all present at this August gathering to a public lecture under the auspices of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Chair on the topic Right to Privacy and Data Protection Laws, organized by the Faculty of Law. To commence the proceedings, I request everyone to kindly rise for the university song.
आमे वडोदराना विद्यापीठना सपना सारवनारा आमे ज्योत जलावी सृष्टिनावली सहसा सर्जनहारा आमे वडोदराना विद्यापीठना सपना सारवनारा आमे ज्योत जलावी सृष्टिनावली सहसा सर्जनहारा आमे गगन कुसुम कर धरनारा आमे मगन मगन थई फरनारा अगन बाथ आमे भरनारा आमे दैन्य तिमिरने हरनारा आमे वडोदराना विद्यापीठना सपना सारवनारा आमे ज्योत जलावी सृष्टिनावली सहसा सर्जनहारा श्री सयाजी विद्यापीठना ज्ञान दीपने धरनारा श्री सयाजी विद्यापीठना ज्ञान दीपने धरनारा सत्यं शिवं सुन्दरं नो भणनारा।
Thank you all. This public lecture series has been named in honor of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, considered to be the chief architect of the Constitution of India. While the term in English constitution comes from the French and Latin root constitutio, meaning regulations or orders, its Hindi counterpart, Samvidhan, comes from Sanskrit. One of the earliest usages of the word Samvidhan appears in the Mahabharata in the 25th shlok of the 75th adhyay in the Drona Parva. When Arjun vows to slay the king Jayadratha in battle, Lord Krishna warns him, Sar agya swayamacharyo bhrushamakranditorjuna samvidhanam cha vihitam rathascha kila sajjitaha. Lord Krishna cautions Arjun that the Samvidhan, that is, all the remedial measures to protect Jayadratha from Arjun had been put in place. Thus, in Sanskrit, the word Samvidhan refers to a remedial measure used to protect. Further, developed from the Sanskrit root sam, it upholds the idea of togetherness and convergence at the heart of a vidhan or measure. In honor of this idea enshrined in the very word Samvidhan, of engaging in a collective deliberation over the principles that uphold law and justice in our nation, I invite this congregation to join hands in praying to the Almighty to lead our thoughts in a noble direction. For the same, I request the dignitaries on the dais to kindly light the as a symbol of our conversion.
शुभं करोति कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदा शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीप
law. When real and virtual worlds coalesce, the consequences are not always seamless, but sometimes sinister. Data is that invisible presence opening the doors of what remains behind the screen of privacy. Reflecting on this challenge of the hour is an urgent concern, and it is our distinguished honor that to negotiate this impasse, we have the privilege of guidance from the most eminent member of the highest judicial body of the country, gracing this congregation as the chief guest and keynote speaker. To welcome his lordship and this eminent gathering, I invite the noted academician, distinguished researcher, leading our institution as an accomplished administrator, Dr. K.M. Chudasama, Registrar of University of Baroda.
Arvind Kumar. It's indeed a pleasant occasion for us. He has consented to deliver a session at the Maharaja Sayaji Rao University of Baroda. Sir, on behalf of the staff and students, Executive Council and Board of Management, and on behalf of the Chancellor Madam of the Maharaja Sayaji Rao University of Baroda, I heartily welcome you to the Maharaja Sayaji Rao University of Baroda on the occasion of a public lecture under the auspices of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Chair. The right to privacy and data protection laws. The session on this is to be delivered by Honorable Mr. Justice Arvind Kumar. We are grateful for the content to be delivered in the next 1 hour. Thank you so much for accepting invitation and joining us on this occasion. Honorable In Charge Vice Chancellor Shri Professor Dhanesh Patel, the Deans of the faculties of the Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda, Honorable PDJ of Vadodara and entire judiciary team of Vadodara, invited guests, staff members, students, and the media officials, as well as the local administration of Vadodara District Collectorate and all the protocol officers. On behalf of the Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda, I welcome all of you for this occasion wherein the topic which is to be delivered is of a great importance. Honorable Mr. Justice Arvind Kumar Saab has a lot of details to deliver, especially for the upcoming batches and the emerging law professionals who are the students of the Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda, the Faculty of Law. Even the teachers have joined here and other interested delegates have also joined here. On behalf of Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda, I take this opportunity to invite you and to thank you for joining us. This is going to be a fruitful session for the next 1 hour. The team of Faculty of Law led by Professor Archana Gadekar and the entire team of teachers who have meticulously organized this program. It is worth mentioning that choosing this topic and inviting an appropriate person makes a difference, and we are going to witness this. Thank you one and all, and let us now go ahead with the formal function, and a lot of things are there to be learned from the today's experts. I'm very sure that all of us would be wanting the content to be delivered by sir. We are waiting for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. As an extension of sir's welcome, of gratitude from the Faculty of Law to the eminent guests for making this event possible, we would now like to take an opportunity to felicitate them. I request Professor Dr. Dhanesh Patel, In Charge Vice Chancellor, the Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda, to kindly felicitate Honorable Mr. Justice Arvind Kumar, Judge, Supreme Court of India. We are presenting His Lordship with the motto of the Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda, Satyam Shivam Sundaram, as well as the iconic representative of the Vadodara city, the banyan tree, standing for its ancient roots as well as its aspirations for the future. This is an engraved stand and a special gift, which is a sketch commissioned by the faculty. The sketch has been prepared by a student of the Faculty of Fine Arts of the same university. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, ma'am. I now request Dr. K.M. Chudasama, Registrar of the Maharaja Sayajirao University, to kindly felicitate Professor Dr. Dhanesh Patel, the Honorable In Charge Vice Chancellor of the Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda. Thank you so much, sir. It is also our privilege that we are joined here today by the Honorable Principal District Judge of Vadodara. I request Dr. Namrata Lohar, Associate Professor, to kindly felicitate Honorable J.L. Odedra, Principal District Judge, Vadodara. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. In the history writing of the nation, the states of Gujarat and Karnataka have interestingly played a twin role. Under the British rule, the princely states of Mysore and Baroda were both nationalist and modern exemplars of statehood, emerging out of the deep friendship between its rulers. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's own relationship with the Gaikwad state of Baroda is well known, as the Maharaja offered patronage to Dr. Ambedkar's higher education. But what is lesser known is, after receiving this education, Ambedkar visited Bijapur in Karnataka in 1937, and it is believed that this visit deeply impacted the empowerment of the Dalit communities in the state, whose echoes were felt at the national stage in the shaping of the constitution. Today, we have with us an eminent member of the judiciary whose journey commenced in Karnataka, grew through Gujarat, and has culminated at the apex judicial body of the Republic of India. To apprise the gathering a little more about the illustrious profile of Honorable Mr. Justice Arvind Kumar, as well as to tell us more about the idea behind the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar chair, I invite the head of our institution, an academician with a vast experience of more than 30 years, a widely published author, a researcher with national and international presence, who ably balances administrative and leadership roles, and is equally a beloved mentor of the institution, known for his calm approach and unassuming personality, embodying the humility at the heart of power, Professor Dr. Dhanesh Patel, in charge Vice Chancellor, the Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda. I request, sir, to kindly tell us about the chair and invite the chief guest.
Good evening and welcome you all. Honorable Mr. Justice Arvind Kumar, Judge Supreme Court of India. Sir, I welcome you on behalf of the Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda as well as Vadodara. Honorable Chief Justice of Vadodara sir. Our Registrar Dr. K.M. Chudasma, Dr. Archana Gadekar, Dean Faculty of Law, dignitaries of the dais, my Honorable Dean of the faculties, my teachers of this faculty as well as outside, and of course, my dear students. First, I would like to talk about the B.R. Ambedkar chair. Constitution is not mere a lowest document, it is a vehicle of life, and its spirit is always the spirit of age. These are the remarks of the eminent lawyer, jurist, scholar, and the champion of equality and justice who enshrined these ideas in the Constitution of India as a chairman of the drafting committee, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. As we reflect upon the shifting sands of the society and the challenges before law to constantly adapt itself in response, we can gauge the significance of Ambedkar's remark with regard to the Constitution. As a global power shifts, environmental challenges and technological innovation seem to fundamentally transform the nature of human values and structure of the human society, the Constitution stands as the anchor, reminding us of the principle that the law must espouse while the manifestations of law may change. To ensure a perpetual reflection on the spirit of the Constitution and as a mark of the centenary celebration of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, an eminent jurist, social reformer, and the father of the Indian Constitution, the government of Gujarat granted a corpus of rupees 5 lakhs to the Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda to institute the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar chair at the Faculty of Law in the year 1985. The interest generated from the corpus is used to invite eminent academicians, jurists, and judges to conduct lectures on constitutional law. Since then, this chair has been graced by Honorable Mr. Justice D.A. Desai, Honorable Mr. Justice Shailesh Majmudar, Honorable Mrs. Justice Sujata Manohar, Honorable Mr. Justice C.K. Thakkar, Professor C.M. Jariwala, Professor S.P. Sate, Professor Yogesh Mehta, Professor Muhammad Ghosh, Professor Dilip Uke, Professor Hemlata Devi, and the Honorable Mr. Justice Sadhusha Jyoti Mukhopadhyay. In 2018-19, the chair was graced by Padma Shri Professor Dr. N.R. Madhavan Menon, the father of modern legal education in India, who spoke on the very relevant and contemporary issue of constitutional morality versus constitutional law and constitutional governance. In 2019-20, Honorable Mr. Justice D.Y. Chandrawood, Judge Supreme Court of India, graced the chair and spoke on constitutional law, new challenges. In 2022-23, Honorable Ms. Justice Bela Trivedi, Judge Supreme Court of India, delivered a lecture on the topic Evolution of the Constitution of India, a reflection of masses. Continuing the legacy of scholarly deliberation by eminent members of the law and judiciary, this year the chair is being graced by Honorable Mr. Justice Arvind Kumar, Judge Supreme Court of India, who will delivering the lecture on the very crucial and relevant topic of right to privacy and data protection laws. So thank you very much for coming here and delivering these lectures. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our speaker of today's public lecture. Justice Arvind Kumar was born in 1962 in Karnataka. After pursuing schooling in the same city, His Lordship obtained a degree in law from V.V. Puram College, Bengaluru. His Lordship was a passionate and committed student on campus, contributing as a students' union leader as well as the Vice President of Bangalore University Students Action Committee during college days. His Lordship pursued advocacy from 1987 to 2009, commencing his journey at the trial courts of Karnataka, where His Lordship practiced in civil courts, magistrate courts and appellate tribunals. His Lordship started practicing independently at the Karnataka High Court in 1990. Over a period of 19 years, His Lordship contributed through several key positions in statutory bodies that include appointment as additional central government standing counsel at High Court of Karnataka in 1999, member of Regional Direct Taxes Advisory Committee by the Government of India in 2002, and an Assistant Solicitor General of India in 2005. Besides, His Lordship acted as a standing counsel of the Income Tax Department for 11 years and Special Public Prosecutors for CBI till elevation. His Lordship was also a legal advisor to various statutory corporations and companies. His Lordship was appointed as an additional judge, High Court of Karnataka on 26 June 2009 and was made a permanent judge with effect from 7 December 2012. His Lordship was appointed as a Chief Justice, High Court of Gujarat on 13th October 2021 and discharged his duties in the position until elevation as Judge, Supreme Court of India on 13th February 2023. During His Lordship's tenure in the High Court of Karnataka and Gujarat as well as the Supreme Court of India, His Lordship has delivered judgments concerning intellectual property rights, prevention of unnecessary arrest, victims of medical negligence, persons with disabilities, containment of the pandemic crisis as well as the crucial interpretation of Criminal Procedure Code and elimination of power of state bodies, among others. His Lordship has consistently championed the motto of justice as for the people reflected in the directives at the Karnataka High Court for the the vaccine allocation or dignified cremation and burials during the COVID-19 pandemic. The government to this idea also translated into reform of working of the judiciary undertaken by His Lordship through the innovative measure like setting up justice clerks to minimize pendency of cases at the High Court of Gujarat. The cause of education has remained close to His Lordship's heart as revealed in the creation of signal schools, and that is buses converted into classrooms and stationed at traffic signals to provide education to children engaged in begging jobs, launched jointly with the Gujarat State Legal Services Authority and Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation, as well as His Lordship's contribution as the founder member of Larry Advocates Forum dedicated to legal education and training of young advocates. I take this opportunity to extend my gratitude to His Lordship for sharing valuable time from his busy itinerary and accepting our invitation to deliver the public lecture under the auspices of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Chair. I am sure that His Lordship insights and presence will be educative and inspire the students to strive for excellence in their lives as well as in the pursuit of flow. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. And now, without further ado, to proceed to the most awaited deliberations that we have gathered here for, I request Honorable Mr. Justice Arvind Kumar, Judge, Supreme Court of India, to kindly deliver the keynote address.
Dignitaries on the dais, dignitaries of the dais, Professor Dr. Danesh Patel, Vice Chancellor, Maharaja Sayajirao University, Professor Dr. Archana Gadekar, in charge, Dean Maharaja Sayajirao University, Mr. Chudasma, Registrar Maharaja State University, Mr. Vadodara, Principal District Judge, Vadodara, learned faculty members, staff of university, learned advocates, and my dear students, friends from print and electronic media, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening. Since commencing from tomorrow, there is 3 consecutive holidays. So I had planned to go to Bangalore, my native place, because the star attraction is my grandson is there. So I said I will go there, and in the meanwhile I was invited. They said, sir, you should come. So I said, all right, I will come to Vadodara because I will never miss an opportunity to visit Gujarat because I consider this as my home state or my state. So the moment I entered your university, I asked the teachers, I have learned 2-3 words. I asked them, Kemchu. I said, I thought they will reply, Majamacho. But they just smiled and kept quiet. Be that as it may. But I feel that this is my state because I was here as the Chief Justice for almost 16 months. Friends, before going into the subject which I will be delivering, the topic on which I will be delivering, that right to privacy and data protection laws. I will be delivering this lecture under the auspices of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Chair. I thank the organizers at the outset for having invited me to such a great event. The reason I say as to why it's a great event is B.R. Ambedkar was exceedingly a great man. But friends, I don't know whether you know or not that in the concluding speech after the Constitution was adopted in the Constituent Assembly, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who was the law minister and the chairman of the drafting committee, he said, I quote his words, "This great work would not have been complete but for the efforts of Mr. B.N. Rao." It is Mr. B.N. Rao, that is Benegal Narsingh Rao, who wrote the draft constitution of India and gave it to the constituent committee, drafting committee. So he acknowledged this in the parliament, which is in writing, which is found on the records. Now you have all mobile phones, other two iPhones, and the moment you got a doubt or a question, you will turn this head and say, Siri, answer this, and you get the answer. That was the great man. That was Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. And to deliver lecture in his chair, I consider it a great privilege. And again, I thank the organizers for having given me an opportunity to be in your midst. Second aspect was when I told my daughter that I'll be going to Gujarat and then coming to Bangalore. She said, for what reasons you are going to Gujarat? Is there any function? No, I said, no, I'll be going to the university. Immediately she said, you will be meeting the students. Don't eat their head. Uska sir mat nahi khana. So having promised and also promising you that I will not take much time. I know it's a weekend evening. You would have made lots of plans. Keeping that in mind, I would like to share 2 thoughts or 3 thoughts which just passes by my mind, especially when in the midst of the learned students. First thing, when I entered the university, when I was having tea, I was told by the Vice Chancellor that there are around 50,000 students in this campus. I was shocked. This made me to remind there was 2 universities in this country. That is called Nalanda and Takshashila University. I think many of you must be knowing. But I don't know whether you know or not that to enter that university inside the campus in those days, there were students from 129 countries studying in this university. So for them, it is not the new concept of entrance exam or NEET or whatever entrance exam you call it. It was there hundreds and hundreds of years ago. The entrance exam was conducted by whom? No question paper, no examination center, no hall tickets, nothing. At the entrance, there used to be 4 gatekeepers. Out of them, 3 used to ask 5 questions. If out of 5 questions, if the answer to the 3 questions are correct, they used to let him inside, him or her, to study in the university. Why I am telling you is, you just imagine if the capacity of the gatekeeper were to ask question and testify or certify them to be pass. What was the knowledge those gatekeepers had? Number 1. And those gatekeepers never repeated the same question the same day to the next student. This was their capacity. You imagine what was the capacity, knowledge, the teachers we had in this university had acquired to teach the international students. That is our country. That is, we should feel proud that we belong to this country, Bharat. Why I am telling you is, everyone speaks about your rights. Article 14, Article 16, Article 19, Article 21, right to freedom of speech, right to equality. Agreed. The Constitution gives you protection for enforcing your rights. But correspondingly, there is what is known as fundamental duties, Article 51A of the Constitution of India. There are certain duties prescribed of every citizen. One which I would particularly emphasize, especially to the students, because you are the budding lawyers, you are the future of our country, you are the future of the great institution of judiciary. Judiciary includes not only judges, it is judges and lawyers. It is two wheels of justice. So for you, I will tell you that there is one particular, I think it is subarticle F or H. It says every citizen should strive hard to achieve excellence in their sphere of work or life, whatever you do. You will have to go for excellence. That is what in that Three Idiots movie that Amir Khan says, success ke piche mat bhago, excellence ke piche bhago, success wahi aa jayega. Go after excellence. Work hard. Make your teachers proud. Make your institution proud. Make your parents proud. For that, there is no shortcut except hard work. Having said that you should work hard, I would like to give one small example that some must be thinking, you see, in those days when we were, a lawyer's profession was considered to be the last choice. You don't get medicine, then go to engineering. If you don't get engineering, all right, go to law. Now it is no more like that. You have chosen, don't be under even the slightest apprehension that whether you did a right thing or not. Because you are the social doctors. You have chosen the right profession. Why I say is, I am not saying because I come from a family where I did not have a single lawyer, either from my mother's side or from my father's side. Nobody was a lawyer. My father was very particular. No, you should become a lawyer. I was not interested. Let me be candid in my confession. I told my father, I was having a passion to become a BSc agriculture. I wanted to become a progressive farmer. That was my ambition. So I told him, don't force me. This is what I want to choose. Because myself and my father, we were more like a friends. So I used to discuss with him many subjects. So, but he kept on insisting me, no, you should become a lawyer. You should become a lawyer. Then every day, we used to have a fight. Normally, parents fight with their children at the dining table. This is what happens. Exchange of ideas, and ultimately the arbitrator or the mediator will be the mother. So she'll say both of them to keep quiet. So this is what was happening in my family also, my house also. Ultimately, he said, look here. He was a freedom fighter. My father was a freedom fighter. He was in jail for about nearly 6 years, approximately 5 years, 11 months. So he used to say, I used to be in the jail whenever thrice he was inside. So he used to say, look here, whenever I used to visit, I was in jail, except myself, all others were lawyers. It is the lawyers who fought for the freedom of this country, majority. I'm not saying others did not do it. Lawyers took the forefront. They are the social doctors. So I want you to become a lawyer. I said, why should I become? You should have become. I told him, you should have become. Why do you force me? He said, no, at that time, I did not have the opportunity. There were certain family commitments. So he said, he took an oath, that if at all, if India gets freedom, and if at all, if he gets married, and if at all, if he gets a son, he will make him a lawyer. I don't say I became the victim, I say I will become the beneficiary of that oath which my father took. And here I stand before you. So my dear young friends, don't have any apprehension as to whether you have chosen the right profession or not. You are in the right profession. Definitely every one of you will come up in life. Only thing is hard work. No shortcut. Keep doing hard work. And last but not the least, before I go to the subject, it is the faculty members. You owe them everything. You will not know their value now. You may tease them, you may cajole them, make a joke of them. Absolutely nothing wrong. But the value of the teachers, they are called gurus. In Sanskrit, guru, it's a Sanskrit word. Guru means the person who takes you from darkness to light. That is why it is said, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. You are Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara, the embodiment of all the three. I salute to you. They are your teachers. They will nurture you for your future. So don't forget your teachers and the institution you have learnt. I chose one novel method. One day, after I became a judge, became a judge in 2009, somewhere in 2010 or 11, I got an idea. Sometimes I get these wild ideas. So my wife will be shouting at me. So I told my wife that tomorrow we'll go and meet one teacher. She said, who? I said, I don't know. I will think over. So I had one teacher who was a sociology professor, who was the vice principal of our college. Excellent man, a very good teacher, but very hard taskmaster. His class, there used to be pin drop silence because everyone was scared. He used to hit in the chalk piece. In the sense, if you turn that side, he used to make you concentrate. But very good teacher. So I said, I want to go and pay respects. I did not know where he is, whether he is in Bangalore, whether he is elsewhere, what is he doing, where is he residing, nothing. So I told my protocol people to go to the college where I studied and try to find out. They gave some address. That address he was not there. Then they tried to find out where he was drawing the pension. From there they could pick up the address. So I told our protocol people, tomorrow after court hours, after 5 o'clock, I'll straight come to a house, pick up my wife, we will go and pay our respects. By that time, between 10 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 times the local police have visited his house. They have gone, knocked his door. You are Mr. So-and-so? Okay. That poor teacher got scared. Why police people are coming to my house? Once okay, second time okay, third time he really got scared. Fourth time when that cheetah fellow went, he told him, oh, you are so-and-so. Oh, from how many years you are residing here? You should be here at 6:30, don't go anywhere. So that our teacher felt that really he is going to be arrested. So I landed at his house along with my wife with some fruits, bouquet and everything. I wanted to give him a surprise. So the moment he opened the door, I could recognize him. Because my hairs also had become white, so he was not knowing who this person was coming with. He thought some senior officer has come to arrest him. So then when I entered, I went and touched his feet. Then he smelled there is something. He said, who are you? I said, sir, I am Arvind Kumar, your student. He scolded me and he hugged me. He said, you made me scared. I could not have my lunch also properly. Now that I will eat. So then we had good time. I spent about 2 hours. From that day onwards, till today, I made it a point because that was the day of Guru Purnima. So I said, every Guru Purnima, I'll identify a teacher who has made me to teach from nursery till my law college. Every year, 1 or 2 teachers, I go there, I talk to them, I spend some time with them. They feel so happy. They have all retired 20, 25 years back. They are in their 70s and 80s. When you talk to them, they feel so happy that his student or her student has come to this level. So by doing this, you will be enhancing your level, not the teacher's level. You will be enhancing your prestige. So please keep this in mind. Having said so, and now coming to the topic which I have been assigned to speak, I stand before you today to discuss one of the most defining legal and philosophical battles of our age, the right to privacy and data protection. Privacy is not a mere legal privilege, nor it is an abstract concept floating in the periphery of legal debates. Privacy is the very foundation upon which human dignity, liberty, democracy stand. I quote, the world's most valuable resource is no longer oil but data. This is what is published in The Economist in 2017, highlighting a paradigm shift in our economy's functions. The hegemony hitherto maintained by oil was rendered asunder, that means into pieces, by the internet companies, most of which were started in a small garage with a server, a tiny computer, and a grand vision to change the way our world functions. There are no free lunches, it is often said. But then, have you wondered why do these internet giants provide us with a ton of free services? Well, the lunches, it turns out, are not exactly free, for the consumers give up large chunks of data in exchange for having access to these activities. The data and digital footprints that we have left behind are a price for using the internet. Personal data is the new currency. It is ubiquitous and readily available and hence susceptible to misuse, which is why it is imperative to have sufficient safeguards in place. Imagine a world where every conversation is monitored, every personal choice is scrutinized, and every online search recorded. Imagine a world where your emotions, preferences, and behaviors are mapped, stored, and commodified without your consent. Would you still feel that you are free? I'll just give you a small example. Many of you may be having iPhones. You keep your iPhone in the vicinity where it could hear you. For 24 hours, you just keep repeating one particular word. One particular word, say camera. Whatever you speak, you end it or start it with the word camera. You say, hello, good morning, camera. Good night, camera. How are you, camera? Keep on repeating. Say for about 20 or 24 hours. See the result. After 24 years, you will start getting in your mobile all advertisements pertaining to camera, whether you want it or not. See how vulnerable you are. Imagine a world where every conversation is monitored. This is not hypothetical dystopia. This is a reality creeping into our digital existence. Privacy is the shield that guards us against authoritarian overreach, corporate exploitation, and the silent erosion of personal liberty. And yet, despite its certainty to human dignity, privacy has been one of the most embattled rights in jurisprudence. Today, I will take you through a philosophical and jurisprudential exploration of privacy, the evolution of its legal framework in India, the role of judiciary in safeguarding it, and the challenges posed by artificial intelligence and emerging technologies. Let us reflect on why privacy is not merely a legal necessity but a moral imperative in the 21st century. Throughout history, philosophers and legal thinkers have grappled with the question, what does it mean to be free? What do you mean by free? Is freedom merely the absence of chains, or does it include the ability to control one's own life without undue interference? I am quoting three philosophers, great philosophers. John Stuart Mill. He was an English philosopher, a political economist, a politician, and a civil servant, and one of the most influential thinkers in the history of liberalism. On liberty in 1989, he posted that individuals should be free to act as they please, provided they do not harm others. Privacy in this framework is not just a right, it is a necessity for personal growth. Without privacy, there can be no individuality, no autonomy, and no space for self-discovery. Immanuel Kant, a German philosopher and one of the central Enlightenment thinkers, famously stated that individuals should be treated as ends in themselves, never merely as means to an end. In today's digital age, where personal data is bought, sold, and exploited for commercial gain, Kant's warning is more relevant than ever. When our data becomes a commodity, we are reduced from dignified individuals to mere data points, mere products to be analyzed and manipulated. Hannah Arendt, she was a German and American historian and philosopher, warned that obliteration of the private realm leads to the destruction of freedom itself. Without privacy, individuals lose the liberty to develop independent thought, to dissent, to engage in intellectual freedom. A world without privacy, it is not just a world without secrets, it is a world without true human agency. Right to privacy. In the early years, the law afforded remedy only to physical interference with life and property. right to life was constrained to mean physical life, and liberty meant freedom from actual restraint. Eventually, the law took note of a man's spiritual nature, his intellect, his emotions, and expanded the scope of right to life beyond the body of the individual. In the simplest of terms, the right to privacy is a right to be let alone. To be alone, to keep silent, is also a right. The modern construction of privacy can be summarized by the following 6 headings. 1. Right to be let alone. Limited access. 2. 3. Secrecy. 4. Control of personal information. 5. Personhood. And 6. Intimacy. It's a constitutional limit on the government power, one that is recognized by multiple international instruments. This as to what should be the privacy has been recognized by the international forums. The Article 12 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights states, I quote, "No one shall be subject to arbitrary interference with his privacy, family, home or correspondence, nor to attacks upon his honor and reputation. Everyone has the right to protection of law, such interference or attacks," unquote. Similarly, Article 17 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights protects individuals from unlawful interference with their privacy. Privacy, as we recognize it today, was not explicitly enshrined in the Indian Constitution. It was carved, nurtured, protected by the Supreme Court through decades of jurisprudential craftsmanship. The early judicial struggles, that is from 1950s to 1970s. The first case was in 1954, MP Sharma versus Satish Chandra. The Supreme Court refused to recognize privacy as a fundamental right, focusing instead on procedural safeguards, since this issue of privacy was raised as one of the prime arguments in this case. Then comes in 1962, Karak Singh versus State of Uttar Pradesh. Though it struck down unauthorized surveillance, the court did not explicitly recognize privacy as a standalone right. Then there was expansion of privacy rights between 1975 to 2017. In 1975, the Supreme Court in this matter of Govind versus State of Madhya Pradesh began acknowledging privacy as an essential aspect of personal liberty. In Rajgopal versus State of Tamil Nadu, 1994, the Apex Court held that privacy was recognized in the context of protecting reputation and personal life. Then comes the landmark judgment that finally enshrined privacy as a fundamental right under Article 21, that is Puttaswamy's case in 2017, wherein it was affirmed that privacy is a fundamental right under the right to life and personal liberty. This right can be restricted only if the state action passes each of the 3 tests. Number 1, such state action must have a legislative mandate. 2, it must be pursuing a legitimate state purpose, that is in the interest of the state. And 3, it must be proportionate, that is such state action, both in its nature and extent, must be necessary in a democratic society, and the action ought to be the least intrusive of the available alternatives to accomplish the ends. This made that the Parliament to think of need for a protection laws. The increasing usage of digital platform has led to a massive surge in data creation and collection. Every time we use social media, shop online, or even search for information on platforms like Google, our personal data is being tracked, stored, and analyzed. Data enables us to predict outcomes, get insights for better business performance, make better strategies, etc. And hence, it is so sought after. The terms and conditions of every website, running into countless pages, contains clauses seeking permission to collect, store, and process our data, and in some cases, to sell the same to third parties, that we unmindlessly give consent. Whenever you open in your mobile, you get it. I agree, I disagree. You will be in the pace of knowing the information, you will say agree and proceed. The moment you hit that agree, all your personal data, everything will go. Since most of our laws belong to the pre-internet era, initially we didn't have sufficient safeguard to protect the personal data of the people. which had far-reaching repercussions. It was a major lacuna that had been left unaddressed by the Parliament for too long. Take, for instance, the Facebook Cambridge Analytica scandal, which revealed that the personal data of over millions of users were harvested without their consent and used for political campaigns. That isn't the only example. In 2017, Equifax, a credit reporting agency, suffered a data breach exposing the financial information of several people. And in 2023, Movelt, a file transfer service, suffered a cyber attack affecting many global organizations, including government agencies and multinational corporations. This is the level of damage that data breaches can cause. Thus, there was a dire need of data protection law in our country, and in order to protect the personal and non-personal information, to impose penalties in case of companies do not protect the data law as per law, to promote a feeling of security among the people as far as their data is concerned. Data privacy laws also play a crucial role in preventing fraud, identity theft, data breaches, etc., and they promote a legal framework that maintains a balance between the individual's right to privacy with digital growth. There are 4 key aspects of data privacy. Number 1, collection; 2, use; 3, disclosure; and 4, control, which must be regulated to ensure that there is a comprehensive data protection realm. India's journey towards data protection legislation has been long and dynamic before the digital age. Privacy concerns were largely addressed under traditional laws such as Indian Telegraph Act, which regulated the interception of communications. However, the need for a more robust framework became evident with the expansion of telecommunication and digital services. The first major step towards a formal legal work came with the enactment of Information Technology Act 2000. This law was primarily enacted to regulate cyber activities, but also introduced provisions relevant to data protection. For example, Section 43A of the IT Act provided for compensation in cases where corporate entity failed to protect sensitive personal data. Section 72 imposes penalties for breach of confidentiality and privacy by a person who had access to personal data in an official capacity. Despite these provisions of the IT Act lacked comprehensive safeguards, especially concerning data collection, consent, and enforcement mechanism. The rise of digital commerce and social media platform raised concerns about how personal data was being used, leading to a discussion on standalone data protection law. The landmark judgment of Puttaswamy's case in 2017 acted as a catalyst for a dedicated data protection regime. Following this, Justice B.N. Sri Krishna Committee was constituted to recommend a comprehensive framework which led to the drafting of Personal Data Protection Bill, which underwent several modifications, consultations, deliberations, ultimately resulting in its enactment, called as Digital Personal Data Protection Act 2023. DPDP Act, what we call in colloquially, which is for the protection of the personal data of principals who are individuals to whom the personal data relates. It recognizes the rights of the data principal to protect their digital personal data collected by data fiduciary. The Act provides consent-based and purpose-oriented processing of personal data by the data fiduciary. The said consent must be free, informed, specific, unconditional. Further, the data principal has a right to get notice from the data fiduciary when the personal information is collected. He also has a right to access the personal data collected by the data fiduciary, to withdraw the data and object in the case of any breach. Corresponding obligations have been laid down for data fiduciary. The Act represents a significant shift in India's approach to privacy and data governance, aiming to align with global standards such as General Data Protection Regulation of the European Union. This Digital Personal Data Protection Act introduced several crucial principles and mechanisms to regulate data collection, and some of the key provisions which I would like to highlight is: number 1, data minimization. organization must, it postulates or mandates, organization must collect only the data necessary for the specified purpose, reducing the risk of unnecessary data exposure. 2. Purpose limitation. The data should only be used for the purpose for which it was collected, preventing its misuse. 3. Explicit and informed consent. Individuals must provide clear affirmative consent before their data can be collected and processed. And 4. Right to erasure and portability. Citizens have the right to request deletion of their personal data and the right to transfer their data between service providers. Here, now I can just share, so far as judiciary is concerned, now you know there are many matrimonial cases which ends in either divorce or dissolution of marriage or separation, either by consent or by decree of divorce or whichever manner. They say, because I was heading the computer committee in Karnataka, when I was the judge there, we got a request from one person saying that I had applied for a job. I am so and so. He is from a very reputed college engineer. I had applied for a foreign university. They have refused me the employment because my name finds a place in the search they made in the Google engine search. The moment they hit my name, they said there is a case number so and so pending against him, which had been disposed of about 4 years earlier to that. But the engine shows that there is a search, that there is a case. The employer, the potential employer says, no, I do not want an employee who is into a dispute. I do not want him or her. In such circumstances, he asked that my name be deleted. So now in all these matrimonial cases, now it is universally accepted that we are going to mask the names of the parties. So this would provide their confidentiality. Even if it is hit in this engine search, their names does not pop up in the screen. This is one aspect. Obligation on data fiduciaries. Organizations handling large volumes of data are designated as significant data fiduciaries and must comply with stricter regulations, including data protection impact assessments. And under this act, there are stricter penalties. The act imposes hefty fines for non-compliance, ensuring accountability among businesses and government entities. And there is a regulatory body would oversee the compliance, handle the grievances, and impose penalties for its violations. These developments reflects India's commitment to protecting personal data of its citizens while balancing the need of businesses and governance. The architect of privacy protection, I can say with pride and with all humility at my command and make a candid confession before this august gathering that it is the apex court, it is the Supreme Court of India, which has stood as the architect of privacy of protection. When the Constitution did not explicitly mention privacy, the apex court, through the tools of constitutional interpretation, both textualism and purposive and transformative constitutionalism, it ensured that privacy was read into fundamental rights. Judges, through their wisdom and vision, have transformed the law into a living, breathing instrument of justice. When government sought excessive control, when technology threatened the autonomy, it was the Supreme Court that stood as the last bastion of protection. The judiciary has not merely interpreted the law, it has evolved, it has defended and shaped it to meet the changing needs of the society. Sometimes people ask, what is law? What is law? Law is crystallized common sense. Simple answer. It is a crystallized common sense. How do you define law? It all depends upon the terrain it travels. It takes its shape and color from the terrain it travels. It may be sometimes down, it may go up, it may travel the right side, it may travel left side. This is how it is not, that is why it is said law is never static. It is a flowing river. The judiciary has not merely interpreted the law, it has evolved it and defended it. As I said in the beginning, case Putswami's case was an eye-opener. A 9-judge bench unanimously held privacy is a fundamental right under Article 21 of the Constitution. This judgment did not merely declare privacy as a right, it laid down the very foundation of how privacy must be understood in a modern democracy. The Puttaswamy ruling had far-reaching consequences. It led to stricter judicial scrutiny of state actions concerning surveillance, data collection, and personal autonomy. More importantly, it paved the way for Personal Data Protection Bill. Challenges facing during the implementation of data protection law. There is a huge compliance burden on the businesses, and many small businesses struggle to meet the stringent data protection requirement. This is an issue with cross-border. There is an issue with cross-border data transfers, as different countries have different laws, and many times it becomes difficult for businesses to figure out which laws are to be followed. Due to lack of proper infrastructure, there is a dearth of proper enforcement mechanism and scant redressal systems. Emergence of artificial intelligence, big data, and Internet of Things has led to concerns as it stores data for the purpose of facial recognition and biometric surveillance, which will have dire consequences in case of breach. Regardless, it is essential for us to point out these loopholes and revise our regulations continuously to stay at par with the developments. While it is difficult for law to chase the speed with which technology evolves, it would not be out of place to say that DPDP Act is a step in the right direction in order to ensure that the right to privacy as gathered to the people of this country by the Constitution is properly maintained in the digital sphere as it is the physical life. The digital age has brought unparalleled convenience, but at a cost. Artificial intelligence, surveillance capitalism, data analytics threaten to erase privacy as we know. Facial recognition and state surveillance. Governments worldwide are employing or deploying AI-powered facial recognition for law enforcement. While security is important, do we realize what we are trading? When every movement is tracked, when every face is scanned, can we still call ourselves free? Tech giants have turned personal data into a $1 trillion industry. Your likes and dislikes, as I said in the beginning, you say just one word, camera, and you get pop-up in your screen, all advertisements relating to camera. And emotions are new products. You express your emotion. If you are angry, now the artificial intelligence, so you speak on the phone with someone with a high tone. It will catch up and say that this man is a person who is always getting angry. So they will start sending advertisements as to how to keep yourself cool. They'll start sending, do meditation, do yoga, do that, do this. Is this not a form of digital colonization? Where corporations own more of your identity than you do. You may not be knowing. They will be knowing what you are and who you are and where you are. AI and predictive policing, a danger to civil liberties. Predictive policing claims to prevent crime before it happens. But can algorithms predict justice? Or do they merely amplify biases? When artificial intelligence determines guilt before the crime occurs, do we not risk turning society into a prism of preemptive suspicion? In conclusion, the moral duty is to protect privacy. Privacy is not about secrecy. It is about autonomy, dignity, and fundamental right to be left alone. It is the bedrock of democracy, the soul of human right, and the last fortress against totalitarianism. As Benjamin Franklin wisely said, those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. Unquote. And so I ask you all today, will we let privacy become a relic of the past? The answer must be a resounding no. With this, and before I conclude, again coming back to what I said in the beginning, hard work is necessary. There is one Subhashita in Sanskrit. I would like to quote it and conclude my speech. It says, Artha Turanam na guro na bandhuhu. Artha means money. Artha Turanam, a person who wants money, who is after money, who goes after money, he is not bothered about na guru na bandhu. Neither his friends, relatives, or he wants money. He means business, paisa. Kshuda Turanam na pakva na ruchihi. The person who is very hungry, you know, when you are very hungry, you come and sit at dining table, you take 2 scoops, you eat. You don't. 3rd scoop, you'll ask, Mama, you have not put salt. Why? You'll ask your mother, Ma, why you have not put salt? Why did you not ask in the beginning? Because you are hungry. Kshuda tarana na pakwa. That means you are not bothered about the taste or odor, color, nothing. Kama turana na lajja na bhayam. The one who is after lust, he is not bothered about anything. The last, which applies to you. Vidya turana na nidra na sukham. No sleeping at 9 o'clock or getting up at 9 o'clock in the morning. Hard work, hard work, hard work. I wish every one of you all the very best in all your future endeavors, and bring good name to this university, and ensure that you make this Sayajirao Gaikwad University as a replica of Nalanda or Takshashila University, and you should feel proud that you are from this institution. Thank you very much, friends. And let us all say, it is a Ano Badra Kratavo Yantu Vishwataha. Let noble thoughts come to us from all directions, and we'll take it all. We'll make our nation, our institution, our teachers, and our parents, not forgetting our parents, happy, and because they have sacrificed their life for you. Wish you all the very best. May God bless you, and I thank the organizers once again for giving me an opportunity. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, Your Lordship. What can one say about an address that begins with reminiscences of a freedom fighter and ends with a recitation from the Vedas? If I may say so with His Lordship's permission, it was a very heartwarming and candid interaction, especially with the students. And to extend His Lordship's joke, I don't think there could be any better weekend plan than a chance to interact over tea time with an expert and eminent person like himself. He took us through the philosophical explorations of Kant, Arendt, and told us how data infringement or infringement of privacy divests an individual of his or her agency and dignity. And the question of data privacy not only creates dangers regarding our everyday actions, but might jeopardize the very fundamental understanding and existence of freedom. And that is why it's a challenge and an urgent concern. And I think this talk will take us all a long way in understanding its complexities. So thank you once again, Your Lordship, for giving your time and thoughts and expertise to all of us. As they say, to soar the furthest heights, one needs to take flight from the strongest grounds. Initiatives like today are possible owing to the mentorship and guidance of the academician, researcher, experienced administrator, and leader of the Faculty of Law, who is not only the anchor of all our endeavors, but is also the spirit at the heart of our aspirations. None other than Professor Dr. Archana Gadekar, in charge Dean Faculty of Law. I request ma'am to kindly deliver the vote of thanks and express gratitude on all our behalf.
Honorable Mr. Justice Arvind Kumar, Judge, Supreme Court of India. Honorable Professor Dr. Dhanesh Patel, the Vice Chancellor of the University. Honorable Dr. K.M. Chudasma, the Registrar of the University. Honorable Principal District Judge of Baroda. Respected dignitaries, respected faculty members, and dear students. A very good evening to you all. As we draw this enlightening session to a close, it is my privilege to extend a vote of thanks to all those who have contributed in making this event a resounding success. At the very outset, I extend my deepest gratitude to Honorable Mr. Justice Arvind Kumar, whose knowledgeable views on right to privacy and data protection laws have bettered our understanding of this critical subject. So first things first, I want to thank you for taking the time to be with us today and sharing your valuable insights. So your presence here today is a testament to your commitment to nurture and promote academic excellence and foster meaningful discussions among next generation legal professionals. Thank you so much, sir. So your thought-provoking views on artificial intelligence and privacy and digital colonization have given us enough food for thought to dig deeper into this issue. So erosion of privacy is the erosion of liberty, and liberty is the very foundation of freedom. So privacy is not an option, and it shouldn't be the price one has to pay just to get on the internet. So issues like right to privacy and data protection laws in India today are of an unprecedented importance, and your views have helped us to understand it with much more depth now. Also, a very sincere and profound thanks to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Danesh Patel, sir, who for his unwavering support. I take this opportunity to thank him for his guidance and his vision to steer our institution towards brilliance. I also extend my appreciation and gratitude to our Registrar, Dr. K.M. Chudasma, for his invaluable support and guidance. Also, I am thankful to Dr. Mayank Vyas, the Joint Registrar, for his valuable suggestions in organizing this event. I also appreciate and thank the presence of all the distinguished deans, the members of the bar, and the judiciary who could join us today in this public lecture. And of course, to our wonderful students, thank you for engaging so thoughtfully with today's lecture. I'm sure today's discussion must have changed your approach towards the complexities of privacy laws. And also, a special mention of Mr. Rohit Raj, a student of our Faculty of Fine Arts, who was gracious enough to help us out with the wonderful sketch of his lordship. Also, we would like to thank Professor Ambika Patel, the Dean of the Faculty of Fine Arts, for recommending Mr. Rohit Raj to us. And last but not the least, to my dear colleagues and faculty members, a big thank you for your hard work and dedication in organizing this event. A big thank you to all those who have directly or indirectly contributed to make this event a success. Thank you, and wishing you a wonderful evening ahead.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And now to formally conclude, I request everyone to kindly rise for the national anthem. Thank you all once again, and we wish you a wonderful evening and weekend ahead.